Hello, Miri.
Hi,
Hi.
let's give it a couple more seconds. I'm not sure if yeah, now it is. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Um,
We're hypnotherapists, not technology wizards.
exactly. So, as a hypnotherapist, let's talk about how hypnotherapy can help your child.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
And we wanted to talk about this because we see a spike almost of parents contacting us to have hypnosis sessions with their kids.
Yes.
And we just want to talk about what they can expect and what are we doing in those sessions and how the child can benefit from it.
Yeah. And a reason that I like to talk about this and have it readily available is because, as everyone knows, your child is different when you are in the room with them. And it can be so daunting or intimidating to think, well, what if hypnotherapy is mind control? What if my child doesn't have a voice or isn't in control of the session? What is this hypnotherapist able, to manipulate or put my child in danger if I'm not in the room? And so it's good for us to talk about the whole experience, what how much control the child has, how much more effective we are as hypnotherapists when it's just us and the child in the space, and what can be expected as an outcome.
Yeah, let's do it. But before, let's just introduce ourselves. Maybe I'll do it this time. So,
Yeah, you
hi,
do.
Neota Tinkler, hypnotherapist, and Neota is working with adult and children online and online and in person in Vancouver Island, and she loves what she does. And
True.
I am Miri Malkin, also clinical hypnotherapist like Neota. I'm from Vancouver, working online and in person, and I also love what I do. And we met in hypnotherapy when we studied hypnotherapy long time ago, and our practices evolved to, we took somewhat different routes, but we always come back to talk with each other and to consult and to discuss different issues and have one another opinion over things. And we would like to share our knowledge and experience and some stories from our offices. And let's
Yeah.
do it. So let's keep talking about hypnotherapy for children and how it can help your children or child. So you talked
Yeah.
about what happens when we work with a child, just us and the child. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So I have found that our sessions with children are substantially shorter than sessions with adults. That, first of all, their attention span plays into it, but also, you know, um, in the scope of making changes to behaviors or patterns or habits, they're just not as set so deeply with kids. That's when it's starting, that's when the behaviors or the emotion that is driving the behavior is freshest and most easy to make those tweaks, relieving or refocusing or reframing. And so being able to make those changes in the childhood saves years of therapy in the future. So it's easy to work with kids and have them just address where they are emotionally from their vantage point, from their perspective. They're not there's It's so much easier because they aren't trying to to explain it or excuse it or even rationalize it. It's just so real. And I
Yeah.
find that so refreshing to be able to just work with them exactly where they are. No apologies, no, rationalization. This is how they feel, and this is the behavior that comes from that. And being able to make those changes in their subconscious, which is still malleable, really.
So let's start by, or let's continue by just mentioning some of the issues parents are coming to us with their children.
Yes,
Um, and anxiety is one of the biggest one
of
for
course.
adults and children.
Of course.
I under the umbrella of anxiety, we have different type of anxieties. We have social anxiety, we have, sleep anxiety, we have generalized anxiety, we have stress,
Yep.
perfectionism.
Situational.
Yep. So anxiety is a big issue. We also have fears and phobias,
Yes.
right? So
Yep.
fear of dogs, fear of needles, fear of going to sleep by themselves, different
Dentist.
type of fears, separation, sorry,
Fear of the dentist.
of the dentist. Yes, this one is a doctor, dentist,
Yep.
um, separation anxiety. Um,
Yes.
we like lately, I had FOMO, someone who came to me with FOMO because they are too busy all the time, trying
Yep.
to monitor what others are doing and what they are missing. So
Right.
FOMO became quite big one.
Wow.
Um,
That's early for it to be in a child, but you're right. Those behaviors and those fears are valid and persistent, and they can be changed in hypnosis. And the
so
other thing, other than emotions, are the habits or the
yes, yes,
behaviors. And I
yeah,
mean, bedwetting is a big one. We've both dealt with many bedwetting clients, or like you said, the sleep, um, children with sleeping disruptions,
eating
um,
habits,
eating habits. Indeed, indeed.
picking,
Yep, picking, like
hair picking,
nose,
nose
um,
picking, skin picking,
skin picking. Yep,
um,
all of
all
those
the,
things.
yeah, all of those. Um,
Tick,
sorry,
ticks.
ticks, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Also, ADHD, people who
ADHD.
come for ADHD
Yep.
and behavioral issues in class and home.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so we have that as well. So what can we, how can we put it nicely? What can we do for the children? How can we help them to
Right,
change the situation?
right.
So let's start with that it's very short. We're doing like 3 sessions. Let,
Yep.
let's go back, like, sorry about that, but let's go back a step and say that children, the way I define it to myself is until the age of 12. We have
Okay.
teens as well, but
Yep.
children in a sense that how easy it is to influence the the mindset and to create a new one. I think it's fair
Yeah,
to say that until the age of 12, around 12, it can be 13, it can be 11, but around that age, it's easier to shape the mind as, the child wants to be. After that, of course, we're working with teens as well, and they also sometimes have a very short attention span. Um,
yeah,
but things might be a bit different when we work with them.
yeah,
And children can also be someone who's 7 years old, which is different than 12 years old, right? So it's a very big range of ages of what we do and how we do, but in general, what like it's short and focused.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. And I mean, when you think that the human personality is created generally by the age of 3, sometimes till the age of 5, but closed almost completely by the age of 8. This is when it is so powerful to get in and make those little gentle tweaks, right? Like to work with the child and help them develop healthy and successful personality traits, habits, and beliefs, and ease their stress and anxiety and help them feel a sense of, um, you know, to be confident, and secure in themselves. It's so amazing to help them do that, to shed those doubts or limiting beliefs.
Absolutely. So let's start with what we are doing in hypnosis and how we can influence the mind in such a short time to create the transformation that is wanted by the
Yeah,
child, right? And we're always talking about the child. Parents
yeah,
might want something different for the child, but if the child is not on board with them, then nothing will happen.
right.
And I think it's important to say that, right? If the parents want
Exactly.
someone to stop picking, but the child doesn't want to stop picking, then they won't.
They won't. They have no investment in making that change. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen. It has to be a collaboration of desires and outcomes that we all work on together.
So one of the things that I talk about with children is what playfulness we can playfulness tools we can include and incorporate in our sessions to see how powerful is their mind. And if they want to do something, they will do it. If they don't want, they won't do it. But it's how we can change it to the direction where they want to go. So one of them is, I don't know, see what I have here, is that, some fun pendulum that I created to show them
Yeah.
and play with them and see that if they say something, how the pendulum reacts. And it's always kind of shocking to them
Yes.
to see how the pendulum moves in the direction they tell the pendulum to move, or they think in the direction it moves. Another thing is that I was lucky enough to incorporate um, virtual reality goggles to help kids, and they
Oh,
love it. They
very
can't wait
cool.
for it. Yeah, they can't wait for it. And
Yeah.
so many great transformations are happening thanks to that. um, we can play on the floor. We can play with different type of tools like breathing tools,
Yeah.
but mostly it's about how we can empower them to know that they can do all of that outside of the office.
Right. Right. How to apply it in the real life.
Yeah. So what else do we do? For example, we teach them new skills, right?
Right.
Um, Poses, how to use their language to empower them, and what words can influence negatively on their mind versus ones who can influence positively on their mind and
Hmm.
motivate them to create the change they want to do. We
Yes.
also, I do it, Neota, I think you do it too. We also teach the parents how to talk to their children and reinforce the change that is happening in the office in real life.
Right.
Um, Another thing is creating new perception and perspective. Do you want to talk about it?
How to help the child
Create new
refocus.
perception, yeah,
Yeah, like how
perception,
to,
perspective.
yeah, it's just being able to look at something with a new perspective, like the virtual reality goggles, right? To take something and to just shift the way that they perceive it. And that's the thing about kids, is that their perceptions are from the limited space of what their reality is. That kids have not been subjected to outside concepts or complex situations. And so their perspective is very primitive and aligned with their experience, which has not been very broad, just out of time, really. And so it helps them to gain that perspective and to make the shift, which can be so liberating. And it can just help them to move from here to here, and then have a whole new way of looking at things. And most importantly, the more tools to feel differently about situations, because when you feel better, you are better. And to give them that confidence and comfort to accept things in a new realm of perspective.
Yeah, and you
Perception,
know what?
perspective.
And when a child comes to us and they say, you know, I never can do this, or I always fail, I always, you know, other kids are never call me to play, I always sit from the at the side.
Yeah.
I'm been isolated. Well, they don't use this word, but
No, yeah, but
you know, and they say like they generalize many of the situation, and
yes,
it's essential to create a new perception and
yes,
perspective in order to say, well, yeah, it happens, but also other things happen as well. And
right.
let's look at them and see what you can do, and then how
Exactly.
you can do differently when no one is asking you to play.
Yes, yes. To offer different um, coping mechanisms, but also to help them learn to define themselves from in a healthier way, like to not focus on what they haven't been able to achieve, or something that makes them different from others, and as they come into that realization, well, this kid is good at that, or that my sibling can do this, and I'm not good enough, or I have this limiting, attribute. And to be able to help them define themselves from their positives and not their negatives, to be able to accept that everybody has positives and negatives, but everybody also gets to choose what defines them, what they
Yeah.
what they give power to. And to learn that lesson early in life is so fantastic. It's a lifelong skill, right?
One of the things that when I love hearing from kids, it's when I ask them, so what are you going to do, you know, after we walk for 2 or 3 sessions, and I ask them hypothetical question like, what are you going to do if or when this happens? And then they say, it's easy. I just need to do. And then they count
I
what
know.
we did, or they say what we did in the session. And it's like, no brainer. I know what I need to do. Why are you asking me? And I
Yes,
love this. I love when it happens.
exactly. It's so wonderful to help them young, right? To whether they're, experiencing feelings of being bullied or shunned, or not feeling good enough, and to help them to just release all of that, and to be able to base future situations, not just their current situation, but future situations, from an
Yeah.
empowered place of self-acceptance, self-love, and community acceptance and empathy. It's amazing. So wonderful.
Yeah. And just to say another thing is that we are giving them actually practical tools that
Yep.
they can use in class with their friends, by themselves, when they are with their families. At any time, any given time, they can use those tools without even anyone else noticing them doing that. But
Yes.
these tools that we are giving them, that we are using, and I think we're going to talk about some of the tools later on, can empower them from within to understand their own um, powerful
Yep.
personality that they have, because we all have powerful powerful traits, I would say, that we can
Yes,
use in different situations. And
exactly.
and I think it's important to for a child to know what they can do in different situations, how they can feel good when they're in one situation, second, third, fourth, and then they know how to now they know how to generalize this and positive behavior and say, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. I know how I can do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even need to think about it.
Encouraging them to play their strengths and
Yeah,
develop that skill and that awareness early in life, because so much of what we do with adult clients is undoing childhood
yeah,
events.
yeah,
So to be
yeah.
able to do it sooner gives, it gives people the ability to be the person that they should have been all along.
And children have this one amazing quality that as adults we forget about sometimes. And it's curiosity and
Yeah.
playfulness. And when
Yes.
curiosity and playfulness are mixed together,
Yeah.
everything can happen, right? They can
Yes.
find different ways, they can find solutions, they can find the resources that they need. They can do everything and anything they need. And
Yeah.
when we build on their curiosity and on their playfulness, I
Yeah.
think this, like, first of all, they keep it for longer.
Yes.
They use curiosity and playfulness for longer. And second, they learn how to become more resourceful.
Yeah.
And that's really, really nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what do you think? Shall we say goodbye for today
Yeah,
and
let's say goodbye
reconvene?
and meet again.
Yes. So from Miri and myself, Neota, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to what we have to say. And we welcome any questions or inquiries or clarifications that you might be looking for about anything that we've talked about. Any specific questions we'd be happy to address. And we both practice online or in person. And so please subscribe and keep tuning in to see what we have to say as we talk about events and situations that we can help people with or things that we have already helped people with. We hope we have uh, inspired your curiosity. And thanks so much. I'll see you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.